ads. Okay. I was just wondering where you think you should get started with Facebook ads or like Google ads or any ads. Because I've started to look into it, but it's like so many people say different things. So
Yeah. Is this for your own business, or is this to offer it as a service?
as a service.
To be honest, I would start with Facebook and Google. They have their own free training program.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's called Facebook Blueprint, and it's like the very, very basic fundamentals. Let me just get it up. Well, it's Meta now, isn't it? Um, so let me just send you the link in the chat.
Thank you.
It's very like beginner stuff, but if you don't know that, it can impact, your whole understanding of it.
Mm-hmm.
You really need to learn the fundamentals. So I'd kind of go through that to start with, and then any sort of higher level stuff when it comes to learning Facebook ads, Google, that kind of stuff. It's going to be something I'm teaching in the course, in the Discord, sorry, as more of a course, but YouTube's really, really good as well. The other thing with YouTube is there's so many different strategies, so many different people teaching things. It can mean that you end up having quite a mixed understanding.
Yeah.
You don't want to mix too many strategies together, and everything is constantly changing on Facebook, Instagram, Google, whatever it is. So you've got to make sure that you're keeping up to date. As part of the Discord, I'm going to be slowly releasing new channels on skills like that, and I'm getting the team to actually put together a complete beginner fundamentals lesson on how to get started with Facebook ads. I'm going to do the same with Google as well, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
So you trying to offer this as like a freelance service?
Not necessarily. I think where my agency will go is consulting, but
Hmm.
currently I have a client that needs everything,
Yeah.
everything. So complete branding, marketing, creative directory, campaigns, social media management, everything. So I'm kind of doing everything right now, which I don't expect to be able, like, I don't expect this forever, but it's good for me to learn all of these things.
Yeah.
So the only thing that's kind of like tripping me up, or like not tripping me up, but like a bit scary, is ads, like running ads. Um, yeah,
Yeah, I would try and be careful when it comes to offering too many things
yeah,
to somebody, because it makes it really hard to actually get good results across the board. You can't
mm,
be expected to be really good at every aspect of marketing. A lot of small businesses fail to see that, so they'll employ like a marketing manager, and they'll expect them to be good at design and copywriting and
yeah,
strategy, and it's usually you need two or three people to do that. So when you get
yeah,
started out, it can mean that you're wearing a lot of hats as a
mm,
service. But what we as an agency, sorry, but what we did was really focus on just being experts at one thing. So for us, it was Facebook ads, Instagram ads, same thing basically. Um, and if we couldn't do this a service, or if a client said and came to us and said, can you do the design as well, or can you do Google ads? We'd just say no. And it's difficult when you start out to say no to people that want
yeah,
money, when obviously that's the main reason you start as a start a business. But it really helps you in terms of how efficient you are, how to spend your time, how also like the results you get, because you'll probably end up not getting the best results possible if you're spreading your time across loads of different
yeah,
teams. So what you should probably do is look for some strategic partners across areas that you're not too confident in or that you don't enjoy, or potentially get a business partner who can help with
mm,
areas that you don't enjoy. So we did that for Google when we started, for Google and email marketing actually. And whenever we had a client that wanted help with those, we'd just refer them to one of our partners, and we'd get like a kickback referral commission, which is a nice bonus, and we wouldn't have to sit and learn tons of new things and dilute the service that we were offering. But once you get going, once you get some money, and you're able to then potentially hire someone to outsource those skills to, that's what we did. We had probably 30 clients all on Instagram and Facebook ads, just that service when we started. And then when we had enough clients mentioning Google ads, we hired somebody who could do Google ads. But we'd already got to like a good position before we did that. And then we did the same with emails. TikTok, we started learning in-house. But now we offer those range of services. But I think when you start, you should really try and focus on one thing because it makes it a lot easier for you.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah, otherwise you just have to charge a really good fee to make it worth your time.
50% of profits.
Yeah, it can be okay.
Yeah, I don't plan on doing it like this forever. I think it's been good for me because I can find what I actually want to do as well. I do plan on like hiring as well. That's in the pipelines. Yeah, again, I think consulting, but I don't know. I'll figure it out as I go.
Yeah, no problem. How have you just got one client at the moment, or?
Yeah, for the past like I think 3 or 4 months. Like they need everything, like everything. And I can't delegate to them and they're more than willing to do work, but they're not capable. So yeah.
Yeah, well, I would just try and make sure that you're kind of being efficient with your time, because it sounds like maybe a bit of a nightmare client if they're asking you to do everything.
Yeah.
But yeah, does that make sense?
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. I can answer more questions if anyone's got any, or if you've got any.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
Hi. So basically, I offer consulting, and I'm just struggling to find like how to put a guarantee on that because I understand that having a guarantee is quite important. But obviously, so when I'm doing my consulting, I'm given quite a lot of resources and documents, and obviously, I can't do like a money back guarantee because that wouldn't really work because they would get all my stuff. So I don't really know how to put a guarantee on something like that.
Yeah, so when it comes to making guarantees, the idea is you make the guarantee extremely hard to either qualify for and or actually get the guarantee, get the money back or whatever it is that you promised, which sounds maybe like a bit scammy or a bit stupid, but that is the way you have to do it to make sure that you don't end up just refunding loads of people money. And also, you shouldn't really be offering a guarantee unless you 100% believe that you can fulfill it, because you're just going to waste your time. So we have really strict criteria, and you want to ask yourself, what is my absolute dream client that would make this guarantee, would make me 100% confident that I can actually deliver this service and not refund this guarantee. It's something that you'd have to probably work out yourself, but what we do is we offer a guarantee around an increase in revenue, or we guarantee people that we can, guarantee businesses that we can get them to 100K per month in revenue. In order to qualify for that, they have to have a certain minimum spend, a minimum ad budget. They have to have shown month-on-month growth consistently. They have to go full service with us, so they can't just choose to, go with Facebook ads, for example. They have to go with all of our services. They have to give us free reign on all the ad budget. So, if we see the results are there and we want to scale the budget, they have to let us do that. What else? They can never miss an invoice. They can never have card issues with the ad budget. They can never have supply issues. A lot of the time when it comes to scaling brands, people's best products will sell out, and then they start blaming you for the results dipping, which is obviously not your fault. So we make the guarantee around that dream scenario. If they have all of those things, they meet all that criteria, we're 100% confident that we can get them to 100k a month, or we can double their revenue if they're already doing over 100k a month. So try and kind of work backwards from that and just think, if this person was my dream client and I was on the call with them and I was thinking, this is going to be so easy, they've got everything that I need, this is what it would look like, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So it's just like having a lot of terms and conditions, like in contracts and stuff.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a lot of the time it will mean that people don't qualify, but if you've already got them on the phone at that point and you can show them all your results and show them case studies, most of the time people will still want to work with you. And you can just say, unfortunately, you don't qualify for a guarantee because we want to make sure that we're 100% confident that we can hit that guarantee, we can hit that target that we set. We're still confident we can get your results, but it might be a little bit more uncertain to where we can get you. But what we can do instead is offer you reduced fees, or we can offer you a slightly lower starting point, which we've actually had a lot of clients sign through doing that. So we run a lot of ads and we do a lot of campaigns where we'll say, get your store to 100k a month guaranteed, or you don't pay. And then people will be way more interested, out of the 15 emails they've got that day, ours stands out. They'll get on the call with us. We'll impress them with all the case studies. We'll go through our service, show all the research we've done. And then at the end, we'll go through the guarantee. And I think so since we started launching that guarantee, we've signed probably like 10 clients and only one of them has qualified for the guarantee. But I'm pretty certain that maybe half of those people wouldn't have actually got on the call to start with if we weren't offering the guarantee. So it's like you offer it to entice people into your funnel to get on the call with you, even if people qualify and you have to refund them, you've probably actually attracted more business anyway because of the guarantee that you had, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. So yeah, I think for done for you, it's a lot easier to have a guarantee, but where I've got like a do it yourself sort of thing, it's a bit more difficult. But I'm just going to figure it out, I guess.
Yeah, I mean, it doesn't have to be something amazing. It doesn't have to be like the best guarantee in the world. It's obviously going to help, but if you can offer something that's slightly better than your competitors, it'll do the job. So you offering, you said you're doing consulting. If you give me a bit more detail, I can maybe help you create a guarantee.
So it's basically around appointment setting, and it also includes like sales, like closing deals, sales strategies and stuff like that. It's a combination of both of them.
Yeah, so I'd do something like qualified, guaranteeing a certain amount of qualified leads or qualified calls, that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I thought maybe do like guarantee like 30 appointments or something like that a month or something along those lines. But
yeah,
I'm just thinking when I get on a call, like if I'm closing the deal, like, and they're not getting that, and it's like a do it yourself sort of thing, would I just have to make a really like termsy contract, or I don't know, like?
Yeah, pretty much. So I would say you need to, you guarantee a certain amount of appointments. And then in order to get those appointments, I don't know what strategy you teach, but if it's maybe like depending on their ad spend or depending on how much outreach they do, just set a really, really high threshold, really high ad budget or really high number of outreach they have to do, where if they actually do spend that, getting 30 appointments is easy. But if they don't spend that, it's probably going to be quite difficult for them to achieve it. And then, you'll just say, if somebody, for example, can't spend 10k on ads to book those appointments, you'll just say, unfortunately, this guarantee wouldn't work here because you've not met the threshold. But if you look at these case studies, if you look at the process I've done, you can see that maybe this person, the best thing to do would be have a case study where somebody didn't meet the criteria, but they still achieved the results, or they still achieved some sort of results. And you can just say, look, this guy didn't qualify for the guarantee either, but we still booked him 20 appointments this month or something. They'll still be interested. The hardest part in any sort of service-based industry offer like this is just getting people to show interest and get them on the call. Once you've done that, you've done the hard part, and then you just have to show them some case studies, show them your process. But it's the whole point of the guarantee is to get people on the call.
Yeah, I mean, I'm good with getting people on the call. It was just sometimes I had some calls where, because I wasn't offering some sort of guarantee, I think it made them a bit like, I don't know, sort of nervous about whether to go forward with it. But yeah.
Yeah.
So I could just put like limits on how much outreach they need to be doing per month or something like that.
Yeah, I would do that. And other things you can do is have like check-ins. So, you know, they have to, I don't know if you have like one-to-ones or catch-ups or consulting calls, you know, they have to show up to every call, or they can't be late or something like that. Something that would make it, you know, in their sort of, you know, the ball's in their court sort of thing. If they don't do that, you know, it's on them, and they can't really blame you at the end of the day, but just have like a lot of criteria they need to meet. I know a guy that does that has a lead gen agency, and he guarantees appointments. I think he works with doctors or something, plastic surgeons, and yeah, he said his criteria was like, you have to call a lead within 20 minutes of them submitting their details, and you have to do that for every lead. And you know, it was pretty hard for every client to hit that. If they slip up once, the guarantee is completely voided. But sometimes that's what it takes to actually get the results. So just try and think of different things, and try and think of things that people need to do where they could potentially risk, you know, disqualifying themselves.
Sure, I appreciate that. Also, last thing, how would I be able to track whether they're doing their limits or the thresholds? Like, how would I do that properly? Like, if they were sending emails or sending cold messages or cold calls or anything like that, how would I be able to confirm?
You just need access to their CRM system. So that's another thing you could add in. I know a lot of people that do outbound and service-based industries, or whatever it is you're booking for, people don't have solid CRM systems, which makes a big difference. So as part of your criteria, it could be you need to invest in a CRM system that's able to track these results, and I need to have full transparency and full visibility on your system. That in itself, people will disqualify themselves, but they'll still probably want to go with you because it's kind of on them. If you're taking the blame off yourself, you know, taking the responsibility off yourself, people feel they almost feel like the guarantee has been disqualified because of them. So yeah, I would say you need to invest in a CRM system. I need to be able to see that. You need to send me a daily report of how many people you've reached out to, and if you haven't hit that number, you know, you're disqualified from the guarantee. And if people come back to you and say that seems pretty strict, you know, it seems like you're just putting in terms and conditions, you can say, well, I've crafted this guarantee around what works. If you're not willing to do what works, then you don't qualify for the guarantee. We can still get your results, but there'll be no guarantee attached to it.
Okay, thank you for your help.
Sorry, man. If anyone's got any more questions, let me know. If not, I can run you through a few updates on the group. I know a few new joiners since last time.
Hello.
Hey, what's up?
How you doing?
Yeah, good, man. Is this James that I know?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
How you doing, man?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks, mate. You?
Yeah, not bad. How's
Okay,
life?
so I've dropped a few questions in the Ask Me Anything section.
All right.
It's basically just looking to find the essential steps to create an agency.
Okay.
So I've not started anything at all yet, but I've kind of looked into it a bit. Obviously, I've got a few mates that have worked with you.
Yeah.
I've seen the results that they've got, and it's pretty crazy. So I just kind of want to know, the basics really to getting the agency set up. So I'm up and running, not reaching out to clients, but just the whole setup process is complete. So then I can start to, move forward and reach out to clients, etc.
Yeah, man. I appreciate you joining. Yeah, a lot of the people we've worked with that are absolutely smashing it. To be fair, I was with Jack and Sam. Well, I was with Jack the other day, Jack Smith, and he's got a fucking well nice apartment in Manchester.
Yeah, it's pretty nice, isn't it?
It's like 3 balconies. It's crazy. But yeah, so to get started, I'm actually putting together, so the first dedicated channel that I'm releasing in the Discord is going to be about setting up an agency, because that's what I've got the most experience with. So there's going to be a full section on SMMA, how to get started, all the basics. So I won't go into like extreme detail right now because I'll be putting that up this week. But yeah, it'll be basically I'll be putting exactly what it is, how to get started. The fundamentals, really, it's kind of a lot similar to any online business. Thinking of a name, getting yourself set up as an actual business. So just registering as a business on through the government website, HMRC, Companies House. Coming up with strategy and an actual idea how you're going to differentiate yourself, because just saying you're going to start an agency is quite broad. You want to have a focus. So like I was saying, maybe before you joined, we decided to focus on Facebook ads for e-commerce companies. But to get started in that, you do kind of need to get the ball rolling. So it's just learning initial skills and Facebook ads or whatever it's going to be. Try and work backwards and what you enjoy. Some people, they don't like Facebook ads, or they don't know anything about it, or they don't have any interest in kind of learning the technical aspect of that. Some people might be a bit more creative. So a creative agency, doing design work for people might be more, kind of what you enjoy. So trying to just sit down and think about what it is you enjoy, where do you want to focus, whether it's, for example, some of the students we've taught are really into fashion. So they wanted to go and help fashion brands because they can speak to those types of businesses. They can relate to what they offer. Some people that we've worked with, they had experience, in trades. So, they're a trader, they're a builder or something. We worked with a guy that was, I think he worked for like a window and kitchen sort of company before. So he really knew that market. So he could go and communicate with those kind of businesses really easily. So he decided to go and be a marketing agency and start marketing for those types of businesses. So it's trying to just firstly work out what your passions are, what your interests are, maybe what your skills are. People say you should only start a business if you're like extremely passionate about something, where I think that can really confuse a lot of beginners, because I wasn't particularly like passionate about anything. So I kind of think that's bullshit advice. You should be focusing on money when you start, because you can't feed yourself with passion. But just it does help if you do have something like that. It's always good to start there. So yeah, the first step is kind of like working out what you actually want to do. All the technical stuff like setting up a business, like I've gone through, a name, a logo, using free softwares like Canva to do that, getting your social media ready. And then, once you've done that, you can get started. People spend too much time focusing on working out how to set up a website and, writing an about section on the website. We didn't even have a website before. I think we made a website after our 3rd or 4th client. So we were already doing like $2,000 a month, $3,000 a month before we even had a website. So stuff like that's not essential. It's going to help. But yeah, it's all like the kind of boring basic stuff to start with, which it doesn't cost much money to do. And then it's just those outreach strategies, which is a massive topic in itself, which I'll be teaching more in depth. So if I were you, I would kind of work backwards. Why do you want to do this? How can you get off to the best start? What are your interests? What are your passions? Who can you relate to? And just trying to set yourself a plan. There's in the business fundamentals channel on Discord, I put it's called a Notion template. So Notion is just a software. If you click on that, it's a template that you can use to work out kind of what your dream is, what your goal is long term, how you can break that down into more short-term tasks, and I would always try and work backwards from your main goal and try and tie emotion to that as well. So you got to ask yourself, why are you doing this? If it's for money, that's fine. If it's because you want to buy like a fucking Lamborghini or whatever, that's fine. But just make sure you write down those specific goals, and once you've done that, once you've really worked out where you want to be, you can get started. But like I said, that's a whole other course and a whole module to go through on that. But first steps, just work out why you want to do this, work out potentially what your interests are, and then from that point on, it's step by step, which, like I said, I'll be putting a lot more information in the Discord on how you can do that. So go and download that template, fill it out, and really sit and think about what you want to do with this. And then by the time you've done that, I'll probably have more resources in the Discord for you to get started with.
Yeah, cool, nice one. Another thing I was wondering, so when you're actually reaching out to clients, if you've got no, say, past results to kind of show them that you've been in experience or something, how would you go about kind of speaking to them, and because you kind of got to persuade them, I guess, that you can do this, but without any testimonials or past results, it could be quite challenging.
Yeah, it's definitely challenging. When I started, it took me a few months to get our first client. Obviously, we'll be able to teach you guys how to do that a lot faster because we know what to do and what not to do. But there's a few options. You can go down the free trial route. It isn't essential. It will help you get a client faster. It won't be the best client ever. It won't be your dream client. But if you're wanting to get a case study as quick as possible, it can help. You can go down the route of just trying to wing it and being honest with people, and saying, look, I've learned from, and name drop me, or reference the website, my agency website. We've had in the past, people just literally saying, I'm in a program. This guy called Joe Marston started. He owns an agency, and I've learned everything that he has. So just being honest with people can actually work. You're not going to get like the best retainer possible, but it can be a way to convince people that you actually do know what you're talking about, rather than bullshitting people, because sometimes people see through it. And you want to try and bullshit people as much as possible, try and not bullshit people as much as possible. But I think it really depends on like how desperate you are to get this working. If you don't need money, if you've got a job, and it's more of just a kind of side thing to get started, then I would personally just try and get some experience first, offer something for free. But one thing I can caveat that with is what we did was offer a free trial, but if we hit certain results, we got paid, and we ended up actually getting paid. But it just reduced that need for any upfront risk from the business. So yeah, it kind of depends on you. We also, our actual very first client was a friend of a friend, and they did pay us. It wasn't very much, it was like 250 quid, but we got a case study from that. And the second client we signed through, also quite a shit client, but we signed through referencing the case that we had with them. We got paid 500 quid. And then the first decent client, which was an ecom brand, we did the free trial, but if we hit this, we got results, and they paid us £1,000, I think, maybe 1,500. And that was all within a few weeks of our very first client. So yeah, if you have anyone in your network, it's always a good place to start. I always say, like, start with your personal network, and then if not personal, go local, because saying that you live in the same town or whatever is like an immediate advantage you have over a lot of people. And people will probably give you the benefit of the doubt, and you'll be able to charge them just because of that. People try and like to support young business owners. But yeah, I can give you a full breakdown on different strategies you can take there. But I would start probably putting the feelers out into local network or personal network first, and just mention that you've started learning how to do this, and you want to, get get it going and get some experience, so you're willing to offer like a really cheap rate, just be honest with people. I think that's the best way.
Yeah, nice one. Thanks for that.
It's all right. You'll be off to a very quick start once you get that first case study. Like I said, it went from like first case study to signing like quite a decent brand within a few weeks. And then within 6 months, we were doing like 10K, 20K a month. So cool. Any more questions? Cool. So what I'm putting together, guys, obviously the business fundamentals channel, I've opened that up. Go into there, get the template, go through that. A very important start of any entrepreneurial journey or business is really understanding where you're heading and what your goals are and what you need to do. It's fair enough saying I want to be a millionaire by 30, but how do you do that? You have to work out what you need to be doing on a day-to-day basis to get there. You also need to potentially even have an idea to start. So, and that's obviously already out. Go and get that. What I'm putting together at the moment is a business starter guide / cheat sheet, everything that you need to know to be able to start a business. You're going to go through mindset, setting goals, how to actually come up with ideas, finalize ideas, test ideas, how to plan those ideas out, how to get funding, how to find money to start businesses if you need money, or potentially how to get started without, how to actually launch a business like I was just going through there, all the technical stuff, legal stuff you have to do, the boring stuff that's essential, how to source products if it's going down e-commerce route, or how to test products, test ideas, or potentially learn skills if it's going to be a service-based industry. And then all of the technical things of scaling that business depending on the industry you're in, and beyond that point, hiring, turning it from more of a freelancer, one-man band sort of business into a business that you can actually, withdraw yourself from. And, that is ultimately what a business is at the end of the day. It's not you doing work and working 12-hour shifts, because nobody starts a business to give themselves a job. But, it can take a while to get there. So I'm going to be dropping that sometime soon. And then over the next few weeks, opening up more channels in the group for different business models that I have experience with. The first one's going to be how to set up a 6 to 7 figure marketing agency, and also how to actually start a TikTok marketing agency, which is what I did at the start of this year. And then probably opening up the UGC channel, which is, I think, the best opportunity right now for anyone to start making an extra £500 to £1,000 a week whilst working a full-time job. All it is recording TikTok videos for brands. The only thing there is you need to be comfortable in front of camera, so a lot of people aren't interested in that, and that's fine. But my agency personally pays out about £30,000 a month to people to make TikTok videos for our clients. So we put together a full, training on how you can actually get started doing that, because it's quite hard. It sounds easy making TikTok videos for brands, but how do you find those brands? How do you make good videos? No one's going to want to work with you if the videos don't work. So all of that as well. And then I'll be opening up more of a marketing tips channel to help people that have existing businesses, or that maybe in e-commerce, or maybe want to actually learn the skills to provide those services to the businesses. And then finally, probably opening up an appointment setting channel, which is basically how you can start earning £5,000 to £10,000 a month pretty quickly by just setting appointments and basically setting appointments and doing sales for coaches, for agencies. I currently pay probably 10 grand a month out to people that do this for us. So they set appointments for my agency, or they do sales for my agency. So teaching you how to do that as well. So that's just a bit of an update on what's to come. Going live every week, usually Tuesday. Was a bit early this week just because I've got something on, but between like 5 to probably 8 p.m. I will let you guys know ahead of time. where I'll answer any questions. I'll be going through more trainings once the group's a little bit more busy, because obviously only like 4 or 5 people are showing up to the calls at the moment. But yeah, make sure to drop any questions in the group. Let me know if you have any questions. I'm currently asking and talking to people about offering mentoring and coaching program, because a lot of people keep asking me, but at the moment I'm super busy with what's going on with the agency and current students. But if you are interested in that, drop me a message. I know a few of you on here have already messaged me. So, but yeah, I think that's it. Has anyone got any more questions?
Can I just ask you a quick question?
Yeah, man.
So, is it essential to set up an actual business before I reach out to clients? Because I did watch a YouTube video. I don't know if it was any good or not, but he said to reach out to clients first and start to build something before you'd set up a business.
Yeah, it's not essential, but you're going to need to at some point. And it costs, I think, like 20 quid to set business up. Yeah, you'll also could get a client when you're sending an invoice and people are paying you. It shows whether or not it's a business bank account or if it's a business invoice. It's just way more official, professional. And also, I always think it makes it more real as well. If you actually do set up a business, it's kind of like, okay, shit, I'm a business owner now. This is real. I need to start actually properly working on this. It's kind of like putting yourself and putting yourself in the shoes of where you want to be and kind of faking it till you make it, sort of thing. I always feel like it's a bit of it gives you that bit more inspiration, because you're kind of keeping yourself accountable. Plus, it doesn't take long, but if you sign 2 or 3 clients, for example, then you need to think about doing it. It's like a bit of a nuisance and a bit of a ball ache to set up once you've got going. You might as well just get it done with.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Yeah, it's like it doesn't cost much at all. And then even if you don't end up doing anything, which obviously isn't the goal here, you just like shut it down or you just don't do anything, and it's totally fine.
Yeah. All right, nice one.
Yeah, and don't dwell on things like that. You won't believe how many people we've worked with that'll spend like a week trying to come up with a name, and it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. Like, my registered business name is OJ Digital, and we've never even traded under that name. So don't dwell on it. Just think of something. Just do your name limited or something.
Yeah, cool.
Same when it comes to logos, color schemes, all that stuff. It's really not important. Like I said, I was earning 2 or 3 grand a month from this before we even had a website. So I always like to say, like, perfectionism kills progress. So the people that do the best are the ones that take action, as opposed to spending loads of time trying to work out the specifics. Just look at any big company. The first thing that they actually did was always pretty shit. Like Facebook, the first version of Facebook was terrible. But now look where they are. It's a crazy example, but yeah, just take action over anything. But yeah, I would just get it done, because you're going to need to.
All right, nice one. Thank you.
No worries. Yeah, if anyone, please use the discussion chat if you guys want to share ideas and get feedback of anyone. I'm not saying like a logo or a name or a website isn't important, but use the group. Everyone in there is trying to do the same thing as you or wants to be successful, so help each other out. Ask me anything channel, just put messages in there and I'll answer those on the live calls like right now, if people actually, if people that ask them show up. And yeah, the group's going to be growing pretty rapidly, so yeah, stay tuned. Does anyone have any other questions?
One last question. In regards to email deliverability, I've found that this has been quite important. So at the minute, I think I've figured out, or I'm figuring out how to warm up free accounts. I just don't know what to do in the meantime. I mean, one guy told me that I could just use a professional account because they're quite reputable. in the meantime, I could just use that, or I don't know, is there a way around it, or should I just wait until they've warmed up?
Yeah, it doesn't take long to warm up. Are you using a software?
Yeah, I think it's called GMAS or something like that.
Yeah, I've used that before. Best email software I've used is called Instantly. You want to check that out? It's not that much, not that expensive. But usually it takes like 2 weeks to warm up max. I wouldn't rush the process because it's important. I would just probably spend time writing out loads of scripts, writing out your follow-up scripts. People neglect that. You want to have a 12-month follow-up process, not an email like every day, but you want to be able to have a follow-up strategy over the course of a year. We've signed clients sometimes like 8 months after the first touch point. So there's a lot of things you can be doing in this time to you don't have to just be sat doing nothing. But
yeah, so just don't send any emails out for the minute until they warmed up.
Yeah, well, I'll be very limited, sending like a few a day max. But don't rush the process with that because it is really important. How many domains do you have?
So I've got one professional account and then I've got 3 underneath that.
When you say professional, what do you mean? Like a Gmail, G Suite?
Yeah, just a G Suite. That's what I meant. My bad.
Yeah, it's all right. I would probably only use G Suite emails because it kind of looks a bit shit if it's coming from like an @Gmail account. You want to have a business attached to each email.
Okay, yeah.
But just so what we do is I think I've got like 20 domains for each agency at least, and they're each sending out when we stopped emails actually over the past 2 weeks. This time of year is really, really bad for any sort of sales and outreach because everyone's really busy with Black Friday and Christmas and stuff. So just a tip there. Yeah, we have like, so my main domain is solwithers.co. We then have emails that are like solwithers.net, .org, .io, .ai, .everything basically. And then also you can add something at the start. So it might be work with solwithers.co or just some sort of iteration of that. Or potentially, you can try your full name or a nickname or a shortened version or something like that. But
all right, sweet. So you said it was Instantly is what you use? Because I was told that you need to warm them up for 30 days or 30 to 40 days. I'm guessing that's just to make sure that it is properly safe, or?
Yeah, I mean, 2 weeks usually you're okay to start sending, but I would just start sending maybe 10 a day max, and then usually ramp it up each week to a point where you're sending like 50 a day max. But yeah, we use Instantly. It's pretty good open rates. The founders.
So start off with 10 a day and then the second week do 50, did you say?
I'd add maybe 5 or 10 each week until you get to 50 per day.
Oh, okay. And then after it's been warmed up, it's not got any sort of restrictions, or do I need to still sort of be slow with it, or?
Yeah, so I'd wait until it's warmed up. Instantly lets you know when something's warmed up. I'm just trying to show you now. I'll just share my screen.
No, I meant just after it's fully warmed up. Can I just go and send as many as I want, or should I just send?
Yeah.
Fewer amount?
As when it's finished warming, I would start with maybe 10 a day, and then next week do 20, and then 30, then 40, then 50, and then I probably wouldn't ever send more than 50 a day per domain.
All right, okay. So Instantly is where I want to go to then.
Yeah, that's what we use. I've tried Instantly. I've tried Lemlist. I've tried HubSpot. I've tried GMass, and Instantly is my favorite.
All right. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Sorry, man. Cool.
Hi, Joe. Can you hear me?
Yep. How's it going?
Good. Yeah, I just got a question for you. So, in terms of my background, I don't really have any experience within marketing whatsoever. So, I do think like starting this business is going to be hard. with that being said, how can I guess, have legitimacy when I do start the business and do approach clients?
What business or what type of business is it?
This one,
SMMA.
social media marketing. Yeah.
Yes, it's a good question. It's always going to be hard when you're starting out to, if you have no experience, but you'll be surprised at how many people appreciate and have, I guess, like sympathy for people that are starting out.
Yeah.
They were in your shoes at one point. So I would always say just be honest. Some people try and fake it, or bullshit is probably the better word. And they'll approach people and they'll straight up lie. And I always try and avoid that because it'll come back to bite you. Or you have to try and maintain the lie, which is just a mental drain. So I'd always just try and be honest. It might be a little bit harder to actually get that first deal, but it's always going to feel a bit more authentic and it's going to feel real and it's going to be less stressful. If you can show, through your knowledge, that and through examples of how what you're teaching and what you're doing has worked for other companies, people will still have faith in you. You're just going to have to maybe not expect to get the best fees or the best terms when you start out, but all you need is that first case study. I don't know if you hear when I was saying to James before, but my very first client about 3 years ago now paid me like £250 for the first month, and then we used that case study 2 weeks later to sign someone who paid us £500. Same service, Facebook ads, and then we used that case study to sign an e-commerce brand that was doing 50k a month, like our biggest client by far at that point. And we offered them a deal where if we hit certain results, they'd pay us £1,000, or it might have been 1,500, and we hit that. So it went from 0 to getting paid 1,500 a month for just one client within the space of a month and a half. But up until that point, it had taken us like 2 months to even get anywhere, because we'd not really been, we thought, okay, we don't need to try and work with these brands or take on free work, or we kind of didn't look at it in a way that it just takes that first case study and that first client to get off the ground. So just try and take it slow. And then we grew from that to, well, we did 12 months later, we were doing like 80, 90 grand a month. So it's just taking that first step. So I would just be honest with people, become, go really prepared, show them you're ambitious, show them that you know what you're talking about, and just kind of explain the situation. You'll be surprised at how many people are probably still interested.
Yeah. So like prior to starting the business, were you doing any like upskilling?
In terms of
what? Doing Google ads or Facebook ads and so on.
No, so when I started, I'd kind of self-taught myself Facebook ads to a quite basic level, and then I actually got a mentor to help teach me. And my business partner, he had experience in e-commerce, so he knew quite a bit about Facebook ads. Again, he bought courses and had mentoring. This was like 3 years ago.
Yeah.
So we did know the skills. I would say try not to sell a service that you actually don't know what to do. I've seen a lot of people say, start an agency and then learn the skills on the job. It's probably not the best approach. It's easier to get started, but you're never going to get good results. You're not going to have happy clients, and it's also kind of scammy as well if you don't know what you're selling. So I would try and learn the very, very basics. Google, Meta, TikTok, they all have basic training programs for free. And then as part of this group and other pages, other things you can find online, I will be teaching you a lot of the basics over the next few weeks, over the next few months as well. But you can learn the basics just on YouTube. That's how I got started. But I would say when you really want to refine your skills, you need to invest in a mentor or a coach or some sort of higher level program, because obviously everyone is able to learn what's on YouTube, and you're not going to get you know, you're never going to be better than everyone if you know the same as them. So, but yeah.
Yep, thank you.
Yeah, just learn the basics. The good thing is a lot of business owners don't know the basics, so you can get them results with the basics. Cool. Anyone got a specific question? Cool. Like I said, appreciate you guys being in the group. I know it's very early days. It might seem like there's not a ton in there right now, but like Friday coming up, it's extremely busy right now for my agencies. This group's going to be getting better and better. More and more things are going to be added in. So stay tuned, and yeah, I'm looking forward to helping you all. If you have any questions, please ask it in the channel on Discord. If you guys want to chat between each other, use the general discussion channel. And yeah, there's going to be really specific channels opening up soon around specific types of side hustles or potential 6-figure, 7-figure businesses if you go full time. But yeah, check out the Business Fundamentals channel, do that template first, and yeah, I'll be announcing whenever there's new resources in there. Cool. Thanks for the help, means a lot. No problem, appreciate it, man. Thanks for the help. Cool. I appreciate the messages. Yeah, have a nice evening, everyone, and I'll see you maybe next week.